feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Water no bed like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. Oh, I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, yeah. I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to boss, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah. I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate.
Burn Live, marijuanically keeping you connected, hashtagging these red eyes, changing the view with eye red, keeping underage, smoking off social media, definitely killing myself or ourselves for your entertainment, sitting here with friends and family, starting a cannabisation. I really highly, expeditiously appreciate everybody coming to the show. Welcome to another Burn Live show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever time you're watching this. I am your host, Capiche. I got my host in the building today. April, we had a very good conversation yesterday about a couple of things that I felt important. Them attacking Janet Jackson, and they're going off of them. We actually watched a
Who was we? Somebody else came on the show?
No, I'm talking about you.
My ass fell asleep. I ain't gonna lie, my quack 30.
Okay, anyway, so we watched the burglary happen yesterday.
Okay, yeah, I watched
that. We got to see the ownership, which I said yesterday was a little fishy, was a little weird, was a little awkward. Ooh, excuse me, pardon me. Today we will be going over some more marijuana laws and rules and stuff in the beginning. Y'all know how we do it over here. We really gonna be getting down with these marijuana laws, and then a guy, because I'm not sure his name. Maybe this is the part where I need to start doing my reports and research. But a guy went on to the PBD podcast with a voter's booth to show people how you can be corrupted, how voting system can be corrupted, and stuff like that. So therefore, I'm gonna get into that story. I think that's highly important to get into, to show y'all this is what people are expecting. I know you expect to go out there and get your vote on. You expect that when you vote that nothing happened, everything goes correctly. And yeah, okay. This first story is interesting, not very highly important. It's just how the Republican Party learned to love cannabis. A lot of people out there have been saying that Republicans are against marijuana, which is somewhat true. A lot of Republicans have not voted to legalize marijuana. There's only a few states where marijuana got legal at in Republican states. You also got places in Republican states where you got mayors still fighting against the legalization of marijuana because they see the criminalizations of everything that goes on. Y'all still got to look at criminals and what you're going to do. You want to be protected and be safe at the same time. You want to be protected and safe at the same time. But yet again, in this situation of being protected and safe in a marijuana, which is medicine for everybody, you still got crooks and everybody that wants to take over. So let's see how the Republican side, who don't like marijuana, fell in love with marijuana. Let's get into it.
How the Republican Party learned to love cannabis legalization. In early September, former President Donald Trump officially announced his support for potheads. On his Truth Social platform, he wrote, quote, "I believe it is time to end needless arrests and incarcerations of adults for small amounts of marijuana for personal use. We must also implement smart regulations while providing access for adults to safe, tested product." Trump, who was a Florida resident, went on to say that he would vote yes on Amendment 3, which, if passed this November, would legalize recreational cannabis in the Sunshine State. That could be a linchpin for other southern red states that have yet to legalize marijuana. And if Trump becomes president again, he wrote that he would also support the federal government's ongoing review to potentially reclassify cannabis as a less dangerous drug, work with Congress to pass cannabis banking reform bills, and support states that wanted to legalize pot sales within their own borders. For most voters, the leader of the Republican Party coming out in support of cannabis legalization was surprising. The political movement to legalize marijuana has long been associated with liberals and Democrats. But over the last few years, more and more Republican lawmakers, big money donors, and conservative thinkers have co-opted the issue. Thanks to a $30 billion state-licensed cannabis economy spanning 38 states, 15 of which are Republican states, marijuana legalization is becoming a proxy for classic conservative issues: pro-business, states' rights, and freedom from big government. Even Richard Nixon, the Republican president who started America's war on drugs in 1971 and classified marijuana as one of the world's most addictive substances, said that cannabis, quote, is not particularly dangerous. He said this on audio tapes from 1973, revealed in a recent report in the New York Times. Jeremiah Mosteller, the co-founder of the Cannabis Freedom Alliance and the policy director at Americans for Prosperity, billionaire Charles Koch's political advocacy group, has been lobbying Republican lawmakers on cannabis reform since 2018. He says that, after years of perpetuating the war on drugs, the GOP has finally realized that legalization is happening with or without them. Now many lawmakers have decided to get on the bandwagon in hopes of incorporating conservative policies into the new laws, such as low taxes and fewer regulations to foster competitive free markets. Mosteller says, quote, "We are seeing Republicans and conservatives increasingly warm up to cannabis policy. I think Trump recognizes what those of us who have been watching the issue for a long time know, that there is high support among the American public for this issue, but it's not an issue that makes a difference at the ballot box." If there is one man in Congress who can read the temperature on marijuana opposition and support, it is Representative Earl Blumenauer, a Democrat from Oregon, and the founder and co-chair of the bipartisan Congressional Cannabis Caucus. He says, quote, "We've been watching. There's been a slow, steady enhancement of Republican support. What we are seeing now is the last stages of entrenched Republican opposition." Among those who have had a recent conversion is Representative David Joyce, a Republican from Ohio, which legalized recreational use in 2023. Last December, Joyce introduced the States 2.0 Act, which would formally legalize state markets under federal law. If passed, Joyce's bill would deschedule state legal marijuana, but pot produced and sold outside of state-licensed programs would remain illegal. This nuanced technicality sets the stage for a states' rights approach to legalization.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what you just heard sounds good. And what I took out of it is that you want to regulate weed. I have no problem regulating weed. I'm smoking weed right now. We're smoking right now. I have no problem with regulating weed. But what I don't want, and I'm being honest with you, this is why I was really skeptical of doing marijuana stories, but I see like this is important for me to do marijuana stories. What I don't want is the federal government to get involved with the marijuana industry. Decriminalizing it, okay, cool, whatever. That's still keeping yourself out of it because you're like, okay, I'm going to decriminalize it to where it doesn't come onto my table. It doesn't reach my desk, so therefore I don't have to do anything about it if I'm the feds. Okay? So your mayor, your governor, your DA, your state legislations, them the only people that are going to participate and have something to do with this law. I have no problem with that. Let's keep it right there. Also, let's keep it to where, like in Virginia and North Carolina, which I'm sad is only a few states that are doing this, but make it easy or make it accessible for small businesses to be started. We don't want all these big corporations. You got cookies that's getting big. You got Planet 13. You have Cultivate. Cultivate is everywhere. It's in a lot of different states. And this is where we're talking about where you don't want too many big corporations. Because if you remember, April, and you can vouch for this, we watched that video of that dude getting robbed yesterday. That was a small local business. And the question is why they not going after big businesses? You got all these people want to rob and steal and do criminalized things, but yet again, why y'all ain't go after no big business? Go hit cookies up. Go hit Planet 13 up. Go hit cultivation up. I'm not promoting violence, but what I am saying is, if you really look at the steps, they sound good, but yet again, the small people are not being protected. Small people are not being protected. Shout out to my Rumble family. Bro, man, sorry, but you don't acknowledge chats. I'm going to unfollow you. I do acknowledge chats. If you actually put something in the chat, I do apologize. Sometimes we don't see everything. See ya. He said, "Oh, dude, you saved yourself." I do y'all. Let me put it out here.
You definitely have to acknowledge
StreamYard.
those chats, Michael, especially on YouTube and stuff like that, because some of them will pay you if you like, hey, okay, yeah, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I understand, but hear me out. I'm using StreamYard, and StreamYard hasn't gave every platform that I run off acknowledge yet. Because like right now, like my boy said, like he's on Rumble, right? This guy is on Rumble. But yet again, right now, I can't see how many people are on Rumble right now. I have to, this is why I have my tablet right here on the side so I can help monitor who be on my page. Rumble doesn't show. If Instagram pop up and somebody says something on Instagram, I won't see it. X, if somebody's watching me on X, I won't see it. So I do apologize to all my people on Rumbles. That's why I'm always trying to give y'all shout outs. I'm always shouting out Rumble, shouting out X, shouting out these platforms where they give you freedom of speech. And to go there, it does seem like platforms where there's freedom of speech, Rumble, X, they're not getting knowledge on certain platforms that we use. Now, if I was on OBS platform and using that in the multi thing, which I would have to pay for it, which I'm paying for this too, it doesn't matter, I would get the knowledge, I would see who was up in here and stuff like that. But my computer is not capable of doing that. I'm using an old, slow Dell computer.
And then maybe we should, even as co-hosts, we should definitely, because I be seeing the comments, you know what I'm saying? But I know it'd be up to the host to be like acknowledging, but like maybe even us as co-hosts, once they come on here, we should definitely shout out the people that comment up under, so you guys can definitely be seen. You know what I'm saying? So Michael can see y'all. We let Michael know, so he can be like, okay, yeah, what's up? You know, what did they say, whatever the case may be. If he can't see like some of y'all.
Do apologize, y'all. I be over here clicking. I'm glad April has actually came over here to the studio and see how I work, and to see like I be on this page, I be on that page. I be doing a lot of clicking and talking at the same time, trying to find information and acknowledgeable things to talk about. Now let's get back to this marijuana industry. Yet again,
Nevaeh, what's wrong?
we have the Republican Party, Democratic Party regulating weed. I'm glad that it's not going federal once again. I'm glad it's not going federal. You do not want feds involved in personal businesses. That's just my fortuity. I have been learning when things are in state property, you have more. Oops. You have more control. You have way more control on what you are doing and dealing with when it's statewide. When the feds get in it, then you have a problem like prohibition, regulating. And I keep trying to tell y'all, with all the stories that I do be getting that are negative, and then you do have some that are extremely negative, and you get a lot of stories like that, where kids were abusing marijuana edibles in school and passing out, stuff like that. Um, Now today, so far, I have a lot of good stories. You know what I'm saying? Republicans, I know a lot of what he said out of 30 states, 13 are Republican states. So I know y'all probably happy that some of y'all out there are actually getting acknowledged and recognized and understand that it may not always be in your city, town, state, or something. It might not. I still don't think all 50 states need to be regulated. Just my opinion. My opinion. I think I have seen some stories that are things that are really. I just want to hold on before we go on. I just want to tell the people to be pro-choice sometimes. Okay, because I was like pro-choice. I am definitely pro-life. I think everything is living. Have y'all ever seen? Let's take this down real quick before we get into this story. Have y'all ever seen on y'all news feed that almost everything out here is living, breathing, have some type of connection? You know, if it wasn't for the bugs, it wouldn't. The bugs help the dirt, which the dirt help the grass. Grass help the tree. The trees help the fruit. The fruit help the animal. The animals help us. And then we turn right back around and help back into the ground. They didn't make that song "Circle of Life" for nothing. Like that was a good representative of what goes on. So
that song is a fucking classic. That was a real good representation of what goes on. That's a real good representation of what goes on. So it's a classic.
I really think that we be missing certain values and points in life.
I'll be right back, Michael. I gotta go run in the bed to the bus stop real fast, and I can't take you with me. I'll be back.
All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and run this story real quick, y'all.
Local news on the night team. The first medical marijuana business license has now been officially awarded in Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear giving the honor to a laboratory. KCA Labs in Nicholasville, Kentucky. That's central Kentucky will be tasked with testing products before being offered to patients. Beshear called it another step toward ensuring that Kentuckians have access to safe products when the medical marijuana program officially launches in 2025.
I love that the first license is going to an entity that helps us do this safely. Our Office of Medical Cannabis has established strict regulations, and safety compliance facilities like KCA will guarantee all Kentucky cannabis is held to the highest medical standards.
Kentucky will use a lottery system to award initial licenses to businesses wanting to sell, process, or grow medical marijuana. That lottery is going to be held on October 28th.
Good knowledge going round and round. Smoking weed in this part of town. Let me give this shout out to this hurricane that's going on. Like this is getting. I seen something about it and I didn't cover it yesterday. I apologize. I didn't cover it yesterday. I think this Definitely should have been covered.
Storm, and it's finally dropped back below hurricane status. But this is significant because it is well over 100 miles inland before this system finally weakened back down into a tropical storm. Sustained winds, however, still at 70 miles per hour. This is still a very potent storm, and because it is moving so quickly, there are some communities where the worst is still yet to come, even though the storm has made landfall. All of these areas you see here in green are under a flood watch, meaning the potential is there for significant flooding. The red areas indicating where flash flooding is ongoing. And this white area you see here, that is a flash flood emergency. This is just west of the city of Asheville, North Carolina. This is valid for several more hours. This particular area has had at least 6 to 10 inches of rain in just the last several hours. There are reports of cars that are stuck in roadways, roads underwater. There are also been water rescues that have taken place here and reports of landslides in this area. So this is going to be a concern going forward because the rain is not yet done. You can see a lot of those outer bands really still spreading a lot of that moisture not only into western North Carolina, but portions of South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and even into Kentucky. We also have numerous tornado warnings ongoing right now in the state of South Carolina. That is expected to continue. You can see we have several tornado watches in effect for Georgia and the Carolinas. These are valid for at least another hour, but it is very likely that some of these will get extended throughout the day because the potential for tornadoes still exists for the remainder of the day today, especially for the Carolinas and portions of southern Virginia, essentially Norfolk all the way down to Charleston. There will be the potential for tornadoes this morning, but also into the afternoon. There's also even more rainfall expected across many of these areas, so the threat for flooding, Casey, still exists through the entire day.
All right, Allison Chinchar for us this morning. Allison, thank you very much. The devastation that we're seeing in Florida from Helene, just the opening chapter in what is now a tropical storm. In South Georgia, 2 people died in a tornado that was spawned by Helene. Power outages also mounting across that state. CNN's Ryan Young is in Atlanta, where the entire metro is bracing for this under a tropical storm warning. Ryan, good morning. What are the concerns where you are today?
Good morning. Well, what you just said is something that is very rare, Casey, in terms of the fact of a tropical storm warning for Metro Atlanta. Atlanta is known as a city built basically within a forest. Very large tree cover here. When we do get rainstorms, they're usually not this consistent and going as long as this one could go. It's been very dry over the last 60 days here in the Atlanta area, and all the rain that we got from our earlier cold front made people concerned because with the ground saturated now, they're worried about big trees falling. You add in this extra rain over the last 24 hours, more than 5 inches of rain have come into the city of Atlanta, so you're worried about flooding. And we've heard from some of our local news partners here that they've already had to have rescues this morning at several low-lying apartment complexes. There are creeks that they're concerned about overflowing their banks at this point. They've shut down bridges because of that. And then when you put in that massive infrastructure in terms of the roads in this area, they flood sometimes during heavy rains, but you add the constant rain of maybe 5 to 10 inches of rain, plus the heavy wind that we're expecting the next few hours, that is the major concern right now. I can tell you just by driving in this area, we haven't seen a lot of cars on the road. That's a good thing. The world's largest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, we know they've had more than 100 cancellations of flights so far. But the constant concern right now, the big storyline, of course, is the constant rainfall and how it's going to apply to infrastructure. All the way through Georgia, we've seen power outages. People are concerned about what will happen over the next few hours. Casey?
All right, Ryan Young for us this morning. Ryan, very grateful to have you this morning. Stay safe.
Man, call your peoples if they in them areas. Call your peoples if they are in that area. It's going down. I've been seeing a lot about that. I thought I at least cover it, at least go over it because I think it was important. I do have another marijuana news. This was covered 2 days ago. I didn't get a chance to cover it. We going out to Denver, Colorado. We're going to Denver, Colorado with our next marijuana story, y'all. Let's go.
Night here at 10, we start at 10 with what some say could be the end of a marijuana boom. Days in Colorado, the gold rush slowing down as more states are legalizing weed.
And tonight we're learning how Colorado dispensaries are turning to experts to help them stand out and get more of the market share. Fox 31's Greg Nieto is on it with the dispensary rescue tonight. Greg.
Hey there, Matt. Yeah, you know, the name of the game really has changed over the past decade from focusing on visitors, people who come to the state temporarily, to focusing on people who live here in the state. Cannabis companies can no longer party with profits like it's 2012.
MSU Denver adjunct professor of cannabis Shannon Donnelly is preparing for another hospitality class. Today's concoction.
You don't want to burn that.
Infusing milk with CBD, which will be used in a pastry cream.
So we're going to let this come to temperature for about 5 minutes.
Preparing students for tomorrow, helping cannabis dispensary owners reset in a changing world.
I definitely have came into businesses and helped them flip.
With a crowded cannabis market, Donnelly is also a sought-after consultant.
The ideas of like dispensary rescue.
In addition to her world of academia, Donnelly also travels coast to coast, coaching up cannabis companies to compete.
I even actually work for the Jerry Garcia family and helped them create a CBD line that we can sell here in Colorado and all around the country.
Now, since Colorado legalized recreational marijuana back in 2012, nearly half the country has followed suit.
From 2012 to now, we have hundreds more cannabis stores. We have hundreds more cannabis brands, and people are not competing the way that they used to be able to just because they had weed on their shelf.
Donnelly says the ingredients for Centennial State dispensaries now have no choice but to shift to find success. And despite the somewhat saturated situation, dispensaries will continue to dot the skyline. As for those who show signs of flaming out, Shannon Donnelly is standing by, fired up with possibilities.
It's no longer you can just make a dispensary and become rich. You have to have something that differentiates yourself.
Now, late today, I spoke with a spokesperson with Denver's excise and licenses. He says it's been the most competitive time ever in the 11-year history of legalized recreational marijuana, adding marijuana sales have plummeted since the pandemic. Greg Nieto, Fox 31.
Check this out.
Ooh-wee, y'all. That's why people have been out here looking for a lot of more endorsements of what's going on. They've been looking for a lot more endorsements. And when you've been looking out here for endorsements, this is what you get. It's been busy in this marijuana industry, and everybody want their state to be legal. Everybody want their state to be legal. It's got to be me. I got to be the one to do it. I'm the one that's got to have the best marijuana. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how you used to have to be the best marijuana, the best one? Gotta be the best. Now is let me link up with this guy, let me link up with that guy, let me link up with this person, let me link up with that person so we can do a business, we get a string going. And then you have to find a strand out here to really stand on what you're promoting. You're promoting the upper, you're promoting the downer, you're promoting the tomorrow. What are you promoting? What are you pushing? What is the movement? Like you seen our girl, she like, man, I'm gonna show you how to cook. And cooking ain't gonna last that long because everybody doing cooking. Everybody can cook. But if you have that special something in cooking, you would stand out. You're going to last long. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to be trending. Oh, my God. This was 4 months ago. I ain't gonna do it. It was something about Texas. I ain't gonna throw Texas under the bus, y'all. I ain't gonna throw Texas under the bus. Shout out to everybody that's up in here. Shout out to my 4 special people that's in Rumble. Really appreciate you guys coming. Really appreciate y'all hanging out. I've been up in here thugging. 13 minutes ago. All right. The Great Falls College MSU hosts marijuana education forum.
Actually, my department uses Monday.com, so I'm good. Work management tool? No. Should I?
Everybody getting into this industry, baby. Everybody looking for something to smoke on, y'all. It's like all 50 states. They're a pot smoker. in all 50 states. Colleges want to take advantage of it. Let's run choruses so we can have kids get in debt and come to school. But you shouldn't need no.
At Great Falls College, community members got a first-hand account about the perils of modern-day marijuana on young people. MTN's Owen Skornick-Hayes was among those in attendance at the educational event.
Back in November of 2022, voters decided to introduce marijuana operations into the city limits of Great Falls. On Thursday evening, concerned community members sat in front of a panel of prevention specialists to discuss how to navigate the legality of the drug. Roughly 100 strong filled up the Heritage Hall conference room to listen to a presentation titled Not Your Grandparents' Marijuana. The event focused on exploring the effects of legalization, its impact on young people, and the discussion of effective prevention strategies.
There's no such thing as it's just weed anymore because potencies can be up to 99.9% pure THC.
The keynote speaker of the evening, Colleen Smith, says marijuana potency has gone up between 17 and 50 times in recent decades, leading to dangerous outcomes. Marijuana operations were legalized within Great Falls in November of 2022, and since, over 8 brick-and-mortar locations have sprouted. Just 2 weeks ago, a dispensary in Billings came under fire after products were found to be illegal synthetics.
We just really can't let this industry have free reign to tell us here in Montana how things should be.
Panel speakers included Andrea Savage of Great Falls Public Schools, Brett Munkers, a GFPD detective, and others, including 17-year-old Danica, who delivered a testimonial on her early-age marijuana usage.
I tried marijuana, and I thought it was helping, but actually in the long run, it really wasn't helping me. It just made me stay in my room even more. It makes me not be able to think of words or how to put things into words. It makes me sound stupid, which is horrible to say, but it does make me feel that way sometimes.
With an emphasis on preventing youth from accessing marijuana, Danica
She definitely do not need to smoke weed. Just put it down. If it makes you not be able to come up with words or be able to function and think and correlate with life and go outside and do what you got to do on an everyday, yeah, put the weed down. Go ahead, put it down. It's okay.
hopes to be a valuable lesson.
I hope younger people will see me and see me as a role model, I hope. I hope that they can see that before it gets too late.
Just trying to keep them healthy and safe and then educating them so that they can make.
Now, I'm just saying. Let me bring her back up here so y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm just saying. It seems to me she had problems with words. It seems to me she had problems with words before the marijuana got into her system. I'm just saying. It seems to me she had problems with words before she started smoking weed. But yeah. I am definitely, this is something else I guess I'm against. Yeah, I'm against it. I'm against putting marijuana classes in college. I don't think marijuana should be a class in college. No. I think it should be like a trade school. Somebody should be able to go to, get a course, get a certificate. It's still valid. You still be able to go do it. But I don't think it should be in colleges. No. I
So what they teaching classes on marijuana now? Is that what this is?
This is in Montana. This is in Montana, and they're talking about starting to put marijuana classes in college, and how would they do it up there?
That's Yellowstone country.
Damn, James, what the fuck you eating? That shit look good.
I look good, and you can't
Look,
see it.
I
I
don't
saw
know. You
Deion.
eat it. It's
I saw
like,
I saw Deion Sanders. I saw Deion Sanders on TV talking some goddamn KFC $5 box. I had to come get it. Had to come get it. Thank you, Lord.
oh my god, he over there turning that chicken the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I should do it on TV talking some KFC. I had to come get that.
You funny as shit.
Look at y'all out here giving free promotion, and like they gonna pay us.
Right, right. I'm sorry, but shit, the way he was turning that chicken up, that shit look good.
My bad, y'all. How you doing? No, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone.
I didn't even see you. I'm too busy.
I did.
So,
maybe
how about them Cowboys?
Oh, fuck the Cowboys. How about Kansas City Chiefs?
What happened? What happened?
Y'all lost. They lost.
Who?
Didn't Kansas City lose? I'm just like, because the Cowboys finally won a game.
Good for y'all. You're right. I thought, right. Finally, I keep on trying to make it to the end, but don't even make it there. Keep failing.
Now the question is, are you a real Kansas City Chiefs fan, or are you just a bandwagoner because of Mahomes?
I'm a real Kansas City Chief fan.
So if I ask you who the quarterback was before Mahomes, you can tell me right off the bat, right?
I can tell you who the fuck my hold is. I don't know. Start playing on Mahomes and shit. He's a good player, but it's other players that I know about too. You know, I know about Brady. I know about I like Brady. I like one of my favorite players is Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers. That's actually one of my favorite football players.
You must ain't watched sports in a while, because Aaron Rodgers is with New York now, and Brady is now on TV commentating.
But Aaron Rodgers started off with who?
You said who?
I said Aaron Rodgers started off with what team, though?
He did, but he's not with them now, though.
I understand that, but that's where I watch. That's the games that I watch.
Okay.
Yeah, like Green Bay Packers. I really like that team because Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. He's a good player. He was a good player back when he was playing. He's a good player, but yeah.
But yet again,
he ain't better than Mahomes, though.
Yet again, look who Dallas Cowboys played and beat up. They beat up the New York Giants. So
I need to start betting on the fucking games, but games like that, betting games like this right here is tricky because you don't know who gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are those odd games where you don't know who gonna win. You know, like
Who gonna win the WNBA? Capiche, now that your superstar player is not in the game no more.
Ooh.
I see. I knew you was gonna come in here and be so disrespectful. To be honest with you, whoever wins in between New York and Las Vegas,
You should be repping your hometown team, man, the Aces.
I'm just a fan of the sport.
Just because a motherfucker stay in Las Vegas don't mean we gotta rep they fucking team.
No, I'm an Aces fan, but I'm
Aces
a Caitlin Clark fan. But like, she is phenomenal. I watched her in college. I watched her in college for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? I can't help that. You know, that ain't my fault that she was so phenomenal that she was able to be looked up when she was in college, a sophomore.
Cause you was speaking on Caitlyn. Who's that, Caitlyn?
Yeah, say.
You better watch your mouth. You better watch your mouth, Jade. I'm about to cuss you out, Jade. You better be lucky you my friend, Jade. I heard that shit. What was it, yesterday? Day before yesterday?
Day before yesterday. But no, whoever wins between New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces will be holding up the title this year because them are the two hottest teams. Don't forget, Minnesota is hot too. So them the three hottest teams this year. But yet again, that's you know what's crazy, and you right. You know what I'm saying of me saying what I said to you, but the off season is more hyper than the playoffs right now. That's sad. That's sad. Where people are looking at that, people are more interested in the off seasons and trades or what's going on than the matchup of the semifinals of the playoffs. Caitlin Clark last game that she just lost in 3.8 million views. 3.8 million views. Come on, man, stop playing. You think that's gonna any of these next two rounds? You think they're gonna even see a meal?
But they supposed to get excited. You supposed to get excited about who you might get, and okay, you supposed to get excited about the off season. Because it's like Christmas time.
But
it's like Christmas time, Pete.
But see, all the teams are getting shout outs right now. Cheryl Swoops just got fired. That come on, dog. That's the first thing I seen when I woke up. Cheryl Swoops got fired.
What she get fired for? So they got a new coach.
They ain't signed nobody, but they had to get. Bruh, she was horrible.
But she done put her time in, bro. It's time for her to go anyway. She'd have been in the league since it started.
What team is she on?
She was coaching the Chicago Sky.
That's probably why she got fired. Because they didn't make it. Because they did. That's probably why she got fired. Because they didn't make it.
They should have. They definitely should have been in the playoffs. 100% should have been in the playoffs.
That's probably why she got fired. And then you also got to think about this too, Capiche. The players can go to the owners and be like, you know what, man? If you want me to play in this organization, play for your team, you got to do something about my coach, man. You know what I'm saying? They probably they might didn't like her. You know, she old school, bro. She's super old school. So she probably came with that old school way of coaching. And these young kids, they ain't with that shit. They used to going in timeout. They ain't used to somebody getting in their face and be like, motherfucker, you gonna. They used to, go sit in timeout. Go in the corner.
Fuck that shit. Turkey ass out. That's up. But you're right though.
I can honestly say I'm so hyped for college and stuff like that and everything else. But man, everybody look out for Chicago next season. Please
Juju,
look out for Chicago.
Juju.
You know what?
Now you want to talk about off season? If Juju declare for the draft, you want to talk about off season? The craziness is going to be in the off season.
Juju
team's going to be scrambling to try to get that number one pick because she coming out number one, regardless of what year she come out.
No.
She coming out number one.
Not over Paige.
You crazy. You got to be crazy.
Crazy. What?
Excuse me. Hold on.
Paige?
If Juju win a championship, she got it.
If Juju win a championship, yeah, I am not gonna say
she got it. Number one overall. Yeah.
But if she hold on. If she lose to UConn,
she's still overall number one overall.
I don't know, dog, because Paige is hard.
I mean, but to beat UConn is saying something. That's like beating the '93 Bulls.
And again, let's take UConn out of it. Paige is cold. Paige done did AAU. Paige done did USA.
So did Juju. So did Juju. So did Juju.
Juju ain't
Juju
did no
the
USA.
Juju did ALU.
Okay, Juju do a lot of AAU. Juju ain't did no USA.
No. That's because she too raw for the USA team, bro. She like the Jalen Brown of that shit. They don't want no female Jalen Brown.
Come on, dog. You had the Los Angeles Sparks tank on purpose to go out the page. Or Juju. It's either or. I don't know, dog. You never. I never seen a number one draft pick fight for women this tight, this close. That's exciting. That's very exciting. Yet again, Caitlin Clark and the Fevers, if they get a big man, somebody big, watch out for Indy. Watch out for Indy. Man, he gonna bring up sports and then phone freeze. Y'all see this? Do y'all see this? So second rounds of the WNBA start Sunday at 12 Pacific, 12 Eastern. You know what I'm saying? Starts. Got Las Vegas versus New York. Then you got Connecticut versus Minnesota. It's gonna be a dog fight. Sabrina nephew. Come on, bruh. It's gonna be. That's gonna be probably a hype game to watch. Nice views. Nice views right there. I do kind of like this picture that, you know what I'm saying, Aces last year in the WNBA finals beat the New York on their floor to bring home the championship. Aces going for the three-peat. Las Vegas holding it down, where women are holding down Las Vegas when it comes to championship.
We have a scar as a team, Liberty determined to dethrone Aces. Right. Okay. They forgot about Miss Wilson.
Ooh. Ain't nobody. She just found a position and point to where can't nobody stop her. Girls, unfortunately, do not play that rugged defense. And also guys in the NBA do not play rugged defense. If they can play a little bit of the 90s era defense, if you just brought a little bit of the 90s era.
They can't. The rules have changed. They can't play like that.
See, that's why people be getting their ass busted everywhere. I can't come up on you and defend you to slow you down as a defender, because you might go past me. There's no way to stop that. There's no way to really defend that jump shot. And everybody in the WNBA can shoot. Damn near. Not everybody, but let me take that back. Not everybody, but a high percentage of women in the WNBA has a jump shot. I don't even, to be honest with myself, to be honest with you, and between me and you, I don't even think you should get in the WNBA unless you have a jump shot. If you cannot shoot the ball, you shouldn't be able to get in. You don't have that many teams, so that means that roster spot is thin. If you can't shoot the ball, I don't care what position you play. You can't shoot, you can't. I see some of these people up in here that can't shoot. I see them. Man, you can't shoot.
No, the problem is they can't dunk. That's the problem. So not only are you not able to shoot, but you can't even dunk.
Well,
unless you're a man, like Brittany Garner. But besides that, if you ain't no man, then you ain't.
Garner can't dunk for real.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Sorry.
I got it's a YouTube video she took, bro. He took his shirt off, and when he took his shirt off, it did not look like a woman's chest. That shit looked like mine's. And
Okay, that's you getting off subject.
It's
no,
women
but what
out
I'm
here.
saying is,
You're
His
you
getting
ain't
off
let me
chest
subject.
is
finish.
what it says.
So he
But I'm
took
just
the so
saying,
he took the shirt off and dunked it on dunked it on YouTube for everybody to see.
that don't mean shit. We talking about in a game.
What you mean? That was a 10 feet rim. What you talking about? That won't. She
I'm
didn't lower
talking
that.
about
He didn't lower that shit down.
that don't mean nothing. That have zero credibility. We talking about in the game. We talking about the game, not
But
in a damn
but she
gymnasium,
can dunk
Ken.
though. He can dunk though. That's the
It's a
whole
lot of
point.
girls that can dunk.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So Candace Parker
No.
can dunk.
The only people in the WNBA that can dunk as of right now is the man and that tall girl. I can't think of her name.
It's like 4 or 5 girls in the WNBA right now that can dunk.
No, look it up.
Yes.
Let's look it up.
Look it up.
I can't. I'm on live with you. You the one with all the computers and the laptop. I tell you what. Hold up. I'll be right back with that information. Hold up.
You gonna see he gonna look up the information and see that there are girls in there that can dunk, but just haven't dunked because that takes too much energy. Like, stop playing. About a good 4 or 5 girls in there that can dunk. Put the ball in the hoop.
He said he got the proof, so we gonna see.
Look, he gonna get me canceled. Keep calling Brittany Griner a man. They gonna YouTube gonna hit me with disinformation. Come on now. You can't be up there discriminating on. That's discrimination. Why did she go nationally and say she finna have a baby and call her a pops?
That's something else.
So he Googled, and it only showed 2 people dunking: Lisa Leslie and Brittany Griner. They not even giving Candace Parker credit that she dunked in a game. That's crazy. That's crazy. They not even giving out that knowledge. That Candace Parker dunked in it. She dunked for LA. Let me see. Candace Parker dunking in the WNBA. Candace Parker only dunked in college. No, right here.
Takes it out for a three-pointer left side. That's no good. Rebound tipped out.
So I can't wait till he come back. I can't wait till he come back. Let me set this up perfectly. Yeah, I can't wait. He looked that up. That's what's up. Nah, the question is he gonna come back to rub it in my face? I got it set up to show you. This is what he gonna want me to bring up. That he Googled. Right? He Googled. And the only people you see that's dunked are these two people. But I got video showing that they're not even acknowledging everybody that dunked, because I got footage of Candace Parker playing for the LA Sparks dunking in a game. So this is what he Googled, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is somebody else that's not them two people. Candace Parker.
Takes it out for a three-pointer left side. That's no good. Rebound tipped out. Parker on the run. We're going to get a dunk here. Yes! She did it! She did it with 29.5 seconds left. Lisa Leslie did it first. Candace Parker did it second.
Lisa Leslie did it first. Candace Parker did it second.
When was this? 2000. Damn, how old is Candace Parker again? 54?
Nah.
How old is she? 40? Her 40s?
Yeah.
Oh.
But you just seen that, right?
Yeah.
So this is why, and I wish people that's watching me on Rumble, shout out to y'all that's watching me on Rumble, I wish y'all would go show Nay that proof right there, that everything that you look up on Google ain't always true. I just proved Google wrong. I just proved Google wrong. I'm so sick and tired of people. Oh man, Google ain't always right. I just proved Google wrong. I'm just finna show Caveman because he just walked in the kitchen. So James looked up this and sent it to me, and I showed everybody. Lisa Leslie and Brittany Griner are the only two women that dunked, right? And I just showed video 2008 Candace Parker dunking. So I just proved Google wrong. But like I say, yeah, I want y'all on Rumble to go tag Nays Garden and tell him at an hour into my show, tag Nays Garden an hour into my show, I proved Google wrong when you trying to look up Google and thinking that Google's always going to be right and correct on some stuff. Go look up Google. Yeah. You probably, let's go. Somebody go look up Google right now and ask Google what's a woman. Ask Google what's a woman. And see if Google, see if Google gonna tell you what a woman is, or is it gonna give you the Democratic definition? Is it gonna give you the Democratic definition of a woman? I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Well, shit, I tell you this much though, shit. Google got some answers, but no, they're not always reliable. They're not always sourceful. Like some people really look up Google to see like if they sick. Like, oh, I got cancer because I feel these symptoms, or I got this because I feel these symptoms. Like, take your ass to a doctor. You are not a doctor.
I say that to go back to the subject, so I don't get too far off the subject. I'm just saying, I know for a fact in the WNBA right now, there's about 4 or 5 girls that can dunk.
We saw like what 2-3 girls dunk when we were watching.
They can dunk. It's just they don't do it. It's hard. That takes a lot of energy. No, it's not.
Oh, they made it legal now.
You can dunk. I just show. Let me show him real quick. Let me show him Candace Parker, 2008. Lisa Leslie did it first.
Takes it out for a three-pointer left side. That's no good. Rebound tipped out. Parker on the run. We're going to get a dunk here. Yes! She did it! She did it with 29.5 seconds left. Lisa Leslie did it first. Candace Parker did it second.
Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm just saying, like, hey, like, I'm not gonna dunk and be like exhausted. I gotta run back. I gotta run back down court. You know what I'm saying?
Don't they want equal? I'm just asking because when they fighting for that,
well, when it comes to dunking, that's too much. You know, and I know, and I'm just trying to be realistic. We all know that it's hard to really jump up there and dunk. It takes some It takes another God gift from Jesus.
But these some Amazonian ass motherfuckers.
And I believe, because I can't think of her name, and that's why I couldn't bring her up, because there's a girl on Atlanta. Definitely on Atlanta that look like I watched the game with him that he was looking at this one chick and thought she was cute, and I was like, man, really look at her. I was like, I know she can dunk. She played for Dallas. Like I'm saying, not to be funny, not to be trying to, not to sneak this, but I'm just saying there are definitely females. There are definitely females out there around there in the league that can dunk. They just take a lot of energy. That's why they're not dunking like
It take energy. It take height too. They tall.
They ain't. I mean, once some girl realized that I'm check this out. This is what's gonna happen. Like all the girls right now that's getting these high ass checks and getting paid. Oh, I'm getting paid. I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. I'm all of that. I'm Angel Reese. I'm getting the bag. It's gonna take a girl that's not so pretty to dunk on all of them, and she gonna get a bag. And once she realized every time she dunk and posterize a girl, she just getting more credibility and a bag. Boy, she gonna be trying to. That's when dunking gonna take off in the WNBA.
But what does pretty have to do with anything? Like it could be somebody. It could what? Angel Reese.
Are you really getting your feelings because I threw out a scenario?
No, it's not even about a scenario. It's just that has nothing to do with anything. Because
Angel Reese have something to do with something.
Angel Reese can turn around and end up pulling a move or dunking on somebody. You know
Angel
what I'm
Reese
saying?
can't jump.
How do we know that?
Because we watched her in the game. We watch her game.
Have you ever seen her jump?
Yes.
So just by judging off of seeing her jump, they just say that she can't jump.
She cannot jump. She just tall. Bruh, Angel Reese keep her arms at her shoulders like Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like she got short people syndrome.
Yeah. But that's not my point. My point is that it doesn't matter pretty or ugly. Whoever does it just
why
does.
is you getting why?
I'm not getting my
hold on. Why? Because I made that scenario. No, I made a scenario because it's a scenario. What does it matter? What does it got to do with anything? Because it's called a scenario.
Right.
Eat it. I'm gonna give you another one. How you gonna get mad at a scenario? Putting a person in a position to better themselves, and you like, oh, why it got to do with ugly or pretty or what? It was just making a point. Get out your feelings of making a scenario of a situation of somebody to win. That's what's wrong with people. You can't take criticism, and this criticism had nothing to do with her. We're talking about the WNBA. Anybody that don't think they not pretty ain't gonna take me a liquor joint. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. There's a bunch of girls in the WNBA that can dunk. I just looked up Google. Google said there's only 2. I just proved Google wrong. Order for girls to really want to dunk in the WNBA, they got to understand there's a bag behind it. What's wrong with that scenario? That's damn near the truth. The truth hurts. That's why the truth hurts. Because that's how the WNBA is playing their cards. If they really wanted to dunk aggressively on these women, come on. Half these girls are dating another girl. They don't want to dunk on their girlfriend. They don't want to dunk on their baby mama. They don't want to dunk on the oh, I used to date you on my ex-girlfriend. Now, see, that's where you're going.
All on her head. No. Don't get mad that nigga ate the chicken before you got through it.
I can't believe this, y'all. Y'all see this? I have a discussion with 2 different people. One go off and try to prove me wrong. He don't come back. I had this all set up for him, and I just want to show y'all. So when he come and try to argue that it's only that 2 women only can dunk, I'm like, man, ready? He don't come back, and then I make a scenario about pretty versus ugly, because that is a thing. As bad as we don't want to say, oh, we don't call nobody pretty. We don't call nobody pretty. We don't call nobody ugly. Yes, y'all do. Yes, we do. Shout out to the 2 people that stayed in Rumble with me. Y'all thugging with me. See, y'all didn't run because I'm just making a valid point, a reasonable point that makes logical sense. Like, come on, man. I don't think what I said was incorrect. All right, y'all, let's get into the big story, the story that I really want to get into, the real reason why I went live, and I wanted everybody to come to the panel and sit down and discuss with me, because it's really getting to the heart of it. Voting has already started in some states in America. It's really going down, but an interesting interview has went down on a PBD. Yeah, bro, dog. Hold on. Y'all, I'm gonna say this out loud before I get into this. Caveman has a dog, and the day that you was busy and he like literally stayed up under me, had him just, he was all in his feelings. I was like, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
Remember I told you I was trying to get this?
Uh-huh.
And my doctor told me they're not gonna give it to me. Why? Yesterday I go, lady at the front desk like, bro, don't believe how she lying. They gonna give it to you. And so she gave me this. When you fill it out, send it to this address. They're gonna send me a real application. Fill that out, send that back, boom. They're gonna send me a letter saying I got approved. Go to the DMV, get it.
I need a copy of that. All right, y'all. I've heard of it, because I can make moves. Voting.
What is this question 3 that everybody saying say no to or yes to? That's what I want to know. Because I've been seeing that a lot.
You really want to go there?
Yeah. That's why I asked. And then, I ain't gonna lie.
You really want me to answer that question?
Hold on, wait. I ain't gonna lie. This Camilla, whatever her name is, Miss Harris, all these commercials, Trump 2025. Bitch, you know damn well Trump ain't got nothing to do with Project 25. Why they keep trying to put that on him? Huh? Why they keep trying to put that on my boy? Then, you know me. Somebody tried to argue with me that Kamala need to be in now. I said, did y'all see that clip of dude getting hung in Chicago? They was like, no, so I sent it to him. I said, but that's who y'all want in office though, right? I'm like, that's who y'all want in office. Miss Harris. So the immigrants can come over here and hang somebody you know. You know they told me, shut the fuck up, don't talk to them ever again.
Joy doesn't want here. Hey. That's what I'm saying. Send some illegal immigrants to Joy Reid's house. Send illegal immigrants to Nancy Pelosi's house. Send some illegal immigrants
to Miss Harris' house. Yeah. Don't forget her. But I forgot when she funded them, trying to help them, they ain't gonna do nothing. But what's this question 3? That they want us to say yeah or no to? I can't remember which one.
Yet again, that's funny how they say question 3, they not telling y'all what it is. That's a shame. That's why I love Trump's new era of talking to people, actually telling y'all what the hell something is. So, I don't know if I just did a shortcut. Nope. Question 3 is only about, I do believe it's about women's rights. Question 3. Is that what it's called?
On the voting thing, is that do question 3 got something to do with these construction people out here working?
Hell no.
Cause that's the way they making it seem. That's why I'm like, what the fuck is question 3?
I think you're saying it wrong because I'm looking it up and I don't see it. Nope. I'm not saying nothing about it.
Hey, I've been watching these, I be watching Hulu and, they doing commercials. And they be, what the hell, go back? I saw CC. What's going on here? She poked her in the eye.
They playing each other Sunday. CC out.
Why?
Huh?
Out of what?
The playoffs.
Oh, she did lose her game. When they got like a couple points, less than 10.
It don't matter. She lost. So yet again, ladies and gentlemen, voting. A good mysterious guy came on a podcast.
Bro, what is this black shit floating?
That's that cancerous stuff that's in your cigarette. I think that's carbon dioxide. I think it's the proper terminology.
I think what's going on here because it just doesn't make sense.
I want to show y'all this. I don't know how much I can show.
There's a lot of people that are worried, what the hell is going on here? Because it just doesn't make sense. Is my vote going to count?
So this is the voting booth. What part? We're gonna take a commercial break real quick. I ain't did one of those in a while.
If you feel it, 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 if you feel it,
What's up, y'all? I'm back. We getting into this very important topic about voting. This was a discussion on a PBD podcast. This is what you finna be getting into in November. I think you should definitely go check that out. We just gonna go into some of the clips and some of the discussion that they had of a voting system.
Can you come back and manipulate it? People don't have a lot of trust in the system today. What is your level of faith in the accuracy of the machines that we currently use?
Every single independent study where we have had access to voting machines, 100% of the voting machines have been hacked. Unhackable doesn't exist. Instead of saying trust but verify, you should have a zero trust approach. Never trust and always verify.
Hackers can manipulate the system this dramatically?
Once you gain access to the system, you can change anything as you want.
They can fix it if they really want to, but you're saying every machine has the same vulnerabilities of how to get into it. You think that's accidental?
There has to be a political will to create those standards to be mandatory and enforced. This is not a technological problem. This is a regulation and legal problem. What we need is transparency.
We don't have it though.
Well, we do actually.
How do we have that? You just said at the beginning of the podcast that, hey, never trust.
Correct.
Always verify. And then now you're saying we have to trust because it's bad for democracy. You just validated millions of people's concerns. I'm walking away.
This is just the intro. This is just the intro.
With enough stories to tell for the next month.
Did you ever
of election fraud. So after us, and I'll show you the results, and he decided to take it to a whole different level. Not only is he here in the flesh for us to talk about, what's out there, what's possible out there, he brought a voting machine here with him to show us, and he's going to actually hack into it live. You're going to see it here with our friend who's a guest today. Harry, it's great to have you on a podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so as a hacker security researcher, I want to start it off with this first, okay? I think it's the first story, Rob, if I'm not mistaken, let me go to the story, and I want to get right into this here. Story comes out August 12th of this year, Politico. Okay, you're quoted in it. The nation's best hackers found vulnerabilities in voting machines, but no time to fix them. Okay. Top hackers at DEF CON. DEF CON is where a lot of these hackers, you guys go to, expose vulnerabilities in U.S. voting machines, but fixes are unlikely, Rob, if you want to pull up this article, if this is it, before November 2024 election, due to the long and complex process of updates. Organizers are frustrated. There is so much basic stuff that should be happening and is not happening, said co-founder Harry Hursty. It's not a 90-day fix, and it continues. Security concerns are heightened by past foreign interference like the 2016 Russian hacks and recent threats. Hursty warned, if you don't think this kind of place is running 24/7 in China, Russia, you're kidding yourself. Adversaries have access to everything. While DEF CON hackers highlight these issues annually, the slow response from manufacturers and election officials raises fears that unpatched vulnerabilities could fuel future allegations of election fraud. So after your experience with all these different machines, what is your level of faith in the accuracy of the machines that we currently use?
So first of all, the quote you said about the room running 24/7 in adversary country, that actually was a quote made by one of the top spy agencies of a U.S. director in DEF CON. So I'm just, if it's put to me, it's just repeating what he said.
Who was the person that said?
That was Rob Joyce of NSA.
Got it. If you want to pull up his name so we can give him credit, please keep going.
So my confidence actually in U.S. elections is high. Right now, we have to improve the systems, but we already know how to get elections done right on just hand-marked paper ballots. And since I started and my colleagues started to expose the problems, more and more of the United States have transitioned to have a hand-marked paper ballots. And in the US, you have to understand the US elections are almost uniquely complex. There are countries which have more complex elections than the US, but not very many. In the US, there is no alternative in most of the US to use voting machines. You have to use them because voting machines actually are more accurate than humans. The error rate of humans, especially if you think about the stress environment on election night, is higher than margin of victory in a lot of places. So you have to use voting machines to count paper ballots. Now you have paper ballot, which means that you can always verify the results. And there's a methodological risk limiting audit, which is amazing, and developed by Professor Philip Stark, one of the main authors of that. It's a very cost effective in the labor hours, and you can verify that the election have a right outcome. So we already know how to fix it. At the same time, when we look voting machines, yes, we have vulnerabilities in machines, and we will have vulnerabilities always. There will never be, unhackable doesn't exist. So instead of saying trust but verify, you should have a zero trust approach. Never trust and always verify. So we always have to verify the results.
Never trust and always verify is what you say.
Correct.
Okay. All right. But you went back and you said your confidence in the election and everything's very high. It's going to be good because, it's a lot easier to use the machines versus you're going to do, paper ballots. And they said, you're right. But the question isn't if it's left alone to do its job. The problem that people have, which is why you did the documentary you did with HBO. It's so interesting when you guys did it. You did it March 2020, which was 8 months before the elections. And there was not much done on that afterwards from HBO. It was an interest of what happened before that. So I guess my question for you would be the following. In the area of tampering, when it comes down to things like this, tampering with these machines by hackers, okay? We have a machine here. In a few minutes, you'll hack it and show everybody that, you can hack into this machine here, and you'll give the model and all that stuff that we'll talk about.
That's the part what I'm looking for. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I just want to give y'all a good scenario of who he is. Okay.
If we line up 50 of your colleagues who are also hackers like yourself, and we gave $1 million prize to hack into the most recent machines that we have, all of them, out of 50 people, how many would be able to hack into the machines to manipulate the votes?
I would guess everyone.
You would guess everyone.
Because these machines are, when we look at the systems, and we had DEF CON this summer, brand new system, which is used in a very limited sense. I think the number was 42 vulnerabilities found in 2.5 days.
Okay.
So these systems have a lot of vulnerabilities. Now the question is how you mitigate. That's why we have to expose the problems so that we can develop a mitigation strategy. Like the hack what I'm going to show here, the mitigation strategy is limiting physical access. At the same time, it's very bad idea to think that somebody would wake up in election day morning and say, oh, today I have nothing to do, I will hack election. Obviously, you would have years of planning or months of planning ahead of that. I also want to say one thing about this movie where the Kill Chain, the cyber war in American elections, that was the second movie. Our first HBO documentary came out in 2006. So this is already a follow-up. And we were filming it, give or take 5 years. The reason that it came out in 2020 March.
So he did this is 5 years of research about, over 5 years of research about voting frauds and stuff like that. Okay. Skip forward ahead.
So we all do, okay? The moment it gets to the political leaning, the only way this could work is if it's people who are involved in this that are representatives to audit it, 10 people who are Democrats, 10 who are Republicans, and put, 5 that are independents and libertarians to audit the whole. There needs to be auditors of the auditors of the auditors, or else I don't trust you. You're a hacker because and what I mean, I don't mean that I don't trust you as a hacker, right? You vote a certain way you do. You may, Ian Sanchi, he's not a Bush guy. He's a Gore guy. So he's a Democrat, right? Now, he may not be happy about the fact that some Trumps in 2020 said there was election, interference and election fraud. He may say, no, 2020 was a clean election, right? And 2000 in Bush's side, maybe Bush people will say, no, it was clean. Bush won Florida. We understand it was so close, right? That's the area where people on both sides don't trust. But if there's one area that I'm convinced when somebody doesn't want to address fixing something too quickly, is because it's working for them.
You made amazingly good point without knowing. And let me tell you, we are filming this in Florida. So in Florida, Ian Sancho was in an office which is a non-partisan office.
Okay.
And in Florida, some of the counties had a partisan office as an election supervisor, and some of the counties had that as a non-partisan office.
Right.
Recently, Florida changed that all election supervisors are partisan offices. Does it make sense to you? This is a recent change. So actually, Ian Sancho...
What do you mean? Recently, Florida just changed everything for it to be partisan offices? So
election supervisors.
Election supervisor for Republicans, election supervisor for Democrats.
So previously, it was non-partisan office. So there was no... So the counties could choose whether it's a partisan office or non-partisan.
Well, what is a non-partisan office mean?
It means that you don't have a primary of Republican, Democrat running, and it's not...
I don't trust that.
Well, the point here is that even then, if you have an independent office, if the office is independent from partisan, so it's a non-partisan office.
Right.
It's, in my opinion, better than having that as a partisan office.
No, I don't trust that. Here's what I trust. Let me tell you what I trust. You know who's winning right now with you and I going back and forth? Guess who's winning right now?
I would say that if this is, hopefully this is not discouraging people from voting, because I think that's very important. But every single thing what is distrust and creates confusion, it's all the adversaries of the United States.
You know who's winning right now? The audience that gets to watch and say, I'm with him or I'm with him. But you know what the chances are? The audience is watching, and what are they saying? A part are going to agree with you, disagree with me. A part are going to agree with me, disagree with you. And that's how it needs to be. To me, it doesn't need to be partisan or nonpartisan. To me, it needs to be 5 representatives that are Democrats, 5 representatives that are Republicans in a state, and put 3 in the middle. That's how it needs to be, to hold each other accountable. It's like Billy Graham once said, back in the days, pastors used to go on trips when they would give, these preachers would go up there and they would preach. Well, women love pastors from stage that are great speakers. When pastors would go by themselves, a lot of ladies would come back to the hotel room and they would get caught. Then some pastors said, well, let's share rooms with one other person. Well, when you share rooms with one other person, one pastor could convince the other pastor to do something stupid. Billy Graham realized one thing. Whenever he would travel to go give speeches, guess what he would do? He would share rooms with 3 people. Because when it comes down to 3, one person's going to say, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. I am not comfortable just putting one Democrat in a room and one Republican in the room and let's trust they're going to do the right thing. Absolutely not.
This getting out, stuff like this getting viral, y'all would think that you don't trust your vote. And yet again, like I keep explaining to y'all, I understand why. It's logical to understand why. When you see stuff like this, you got a professional hacker up here telling you a way to solve it, or the way that they got it. Now they got to where they got representatives in your state that's going to watch the vote. That's crazy. That's crazy.
5, 5, 3 for each state, depending on what the size of the state's influence is. To do some bigger need to be more, some less. There needs to be the fight, and everyone needs to watch. It can't be like, no, you can't see what I'm doing. No, you can't see this. No, there needs to be that protection from both sides if somebody's playing games. That's why we don't trust in America right now the elections. And by the way, for full and maybe I'm wrong with this one, and the audience is going to say, no, Pat, you're not right. You're wrong about this. You didn't help me trust voting even more. You're not helping me trust it more. You just validated millions of people's concerns.
Well, actually, what I'm saying here is what we need is transparency.
We don't have it, though.
Well, we do, actually.
How do we have that?
So I spent over 6 months in Georgia in 2020 election, starting from all of the special elections, primaries, and after the presidential election, the special election of the Senate seats. There is amazing amount of transparency if you are willing to do it, if you are willing to be an observer, if you are willing to go and watch, and you can see how it's done, and you can see if there's something going wrong. What I really hated in Georgia was, for example, claims after the election saying, oh, this one happened after everybody was thrown out. I actually took pictures also about the other observers, and I can show you the picture saying, oh, the observers were still in the room. Nobody was leaving. This claim that there's no transparency is partly misinformation. So again, I strongly encourage people to be watching over this and participate in the process, either as a poll worker, but also as an observer, independent observer, or your political party's observer. And what we really need is more transparency. Because, again, never trust, always verify. And it's not only that you verify, but you also watch how the process is done.
Never trust, always verify. Trust me. Most people are where you are and what you said at the beginning. And then you said later on, because you know how powerful that is, a democracy we have to trust. No one trusts right now. It's the lowest trust in the history of America in the U.S. government and the mainstream media because we don't trust these machines. Okay, if you don't mind, would you mind taking a moment here and sharing with us how, and maybe tell us a little bit about the machine, and then from there, if you can show us how you.
All right, y'all, this is the point that I really want y'all to pay attention to. I did have to play that a little bit before that so y'all can get an idea why y'all don't like voting, what are y'all skeptical of voting, what are they trying to do to change the voting, and stuff like that. So everything was valid. Let's get further into it.
To hack into this thing would be great.
Absolutely. So this machine is WinVote, and the reason I'm using this particular machine, it's no longer in use in the United States. So this way, no claim can be made that what we are doing here is helping somebody to realize how voting machines can be hacked. Let's wait
so
for
what
it.
year is this? Does this have like a model to it or no? Is this like a 1986 CRX? Like, is there names to it or no?
This is a WinVote machine, and for the reasons that we don't want to put a logo, this voting system technology company name is just a fake name, because I have been using this particular machine in filming a number of training videos, some of those for the government, just to show vulnerabilities like USB vulnerability, which we are going to be using. This machine actually had many vulnerabilities, and at the time when this was still in use, this was called the worst voting machine used in the United States. The worst voting machine used in the United States.
And where was this used, Harry?
That was used in Maryland. It was in Virginia. I don't have the complete list what all places it was used, but it was fairly widely used. When this is used, this box here is closed and locked, and that's why we are not going to be needing this to be open or closed. It's just open because we have a power button. So what we are going to be exploiting here is a USB vulnerability. The USB vulnerability is amazingly good to identify because it's easy to mitigate. You just stopped access to the USB port. I have plugged here a extension cable just that we can see the actual USB port is behind there and it's accessible by the voter. I'm using here a commercially available USB computer called Bash Bunny. It can be many other devices. This is just an example. This particular device is $120. You can buy it from online. And I have pre-programmed it. And if this would be a real attack, the attack will take 6-7 seconds. I have slowed it down and make it visible so that the audience can see what is happening. So when I'm plugging it in, this is the Schrodinger's USB stick is always wrong way. So the computer starts. And once it's started, it's doing its magic. The moment you see that the screen is changing, that is when the hack would have been already done and I would be unplugging it. But I'm just showing this number of things. So now it would have been done. It's showing you the program manager. It's showing you now the command prompt. And this is where all the votes live. So I'm just showing that the directory where all the votes would be. At this point of time, this stick has already complete control over the system. So at this time, anything can be done, anything can be changed. And as the last thing, I'm just showing a fake results, just to show that can be done. It's just to show that how the system is controlled. So this is a good example of a hack. And as I said, only reason why anything is seen on the screen and why it's this slow is because I artificially slowed it down and made it visible so that the audience can see that there's a control over the voting machine. This particular machine has many other vulnerabilities, way worse than this one. So that's why it's very good that this machine is no longer in use in the US. And this is also showing how demonstrating the vulnerabilities work, because that causes change.
Anything technological can get hacked. That's why a lot of people want to go back to old school paperback ballots and stuff like that. Anything can be hacked out here. That is crazy.
And for example, removal of this machine from being used in the US.
So now, what is it doing right now, Harry?
Nothing. It's already, the whole hack was done. But if this would have been an election, I could have gone to the database and, for example, changed the votes. That's one possibility.
How much of it could you have changed?
Anything.
You could have gone from 51 to 73.
Add a new candidate who was not even on the ballot. It doesn't matter. Because if you have total control over the system, right, you can do anything you want. As I say, one example was that we add a new candidate and make that candidate to win. It would be obvious if
the president of DEF CON is the one who won, George Washington. That's the one you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. So is this like to the average hacker? Is this machine a joke? How easy it is?
It is a joke.
And how many years ago was it used?
I think this was last time used in 2012.
God, 12 years ago.
And also, just an example, that when this was brought first time to DEF CON, we had a professor from Denmark, and in less than half an hour, he hacked into this machine wirelessly. He didn't even touch the machine. He took complete control over this machine wirelessly, because this voting machine happens to have a wireless Wi-Fi access.
So, okay, so is it fair for one to speculate and question that any of the electronic voting machines we've used previously, possibility that could have been hacked, possibility that the winners were flipped because somebody got into it?
So again, the fundamental problem with this voting machine is it doesn't have a paper ballot. So if somebody hacked this kind of machine and would have manipulated it, there is no evidence. That's why we need paper ballots, and especially we need hand-marked paper ballots. Because if the results are called into question, now you can go and hand count those ballots and verify that the outcome of the election is right. But
basically saying, and I hope y'all understand it too, no matter how you look at it, if you're gonna vote on a machine, there's no way to tell if the vote has been violated unless you call in a person and ask them who did they vote for, and then they tell you and see does it match. So when people up here tell me that they don't believe in voting, not voting don't count, how can you trust a vote? It's already been proven that they can hack a vote. I get it. I get it. What the hell are we waiting for? Excuse me, look what they made me do. How do I get through to you? I'm a soul you, I'm a smoothie to sell the ring. Be careful out here when it comes to your vote. Please know who you're gonna vote for. I don't know, man. I wish we couldn't just go back to paperback ballots. Just make voting simple and easy and less hackable. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get up off here. I ain't gonna hold nobody no more longer. Okay. Till next time, y'all. I'm gone.